regular intro, except it's Nicholas the swimming keychain. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be drawing the Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes version. Like last time, I will be reading some cool information about the character I'm drawing as he's watched me draw. So, today's video, I found this information of the Beetle off of Wikipedia, so, yeah. Jaime Reyes first appeared in Infinite Crisis Volume 3, and as Blue Beetle, he showed up in Infinite Crisis Issue 5. Now for his abilities, his Scarab Armored Suit grants flight, superhuman strength and durability, melee weapon production, translation of alien languages, energy pulse shield projection, ability to create and unleash powerful hand blast/beams, sound manipulation, technomorphy, pyrokinesis and mechaniconesis, mind link with the Scarab due to his bond with Kajida. Now for his origin, Jaime Reyes was a relatively normal high school student from El Paso, Texas. His father ran a garage, his mother was a paramedic, and his little sister was a brat. Jaime hung out with his two best friends, Brenda and Paco, the meditator between the hard-working Brenda and the laid-back Paco. By both Brenda and Paco's accounts, he was a good friend, the kind person who could let them be themselves, and you could always make things better. Jaime aimed to help his father out at the garage, but Alberto turned him down and not wanting to see his son grow up too fast. Everything fell apart with the onset of the Infinite Crisis. The Blue Beetle Scarab. Some while before Ted Cord, the second Blue Beetle had come into possession of the Blue Beetle Scarab, the artifact which had given Dan Garrett, the first Blue Beetle, his powers. The Scarab had been presumed destroyed early in Ted's superhero career, but was discovered intact in a pyramid in the Middle East. Ted lost the Scarab on a visit to the Rock of Eternity, home of the wizard Shazam. Shortly afterwards, he met his death at the hands of Maxwell Lord, Black King of Checkmate. The Rock of Eternity was later destroyed in a mystical battle between Shazam and Spectre. Its contents blasted across the world. The Blue Beetle Scarab came down at El Paso, fire and portent in its wake. Jaime discovered the Scarab on the way home from school with Paco and Brenda. Half buried in a disused lot, he took it home, curious as to what it might be. That night, the Scarab came alive and grafted itself to the base of Jaime's spine, inducing strange dreams in Jaime. He also got into trouble with a local gang of magic metahumans called the Posse, mistaking him for a magic metahuman. They attempted to magically scan him and invite him to join. Jaime declined that offer, while the Scarab had no intention of being scanned, and it almost killed Probe. It easily bested the rest of the Posse. The next night, Booster Gold sought Jaime out and took him to meet Batman. Booster had been to the future where he had learned that Batman would seek out Brother Eye and fail, but he also learned the Blue Beetle Scarab was the one thing capable of seeing Brother Eye. Jaime went into space with Batman and his team. The Scarab saw where Brother Eye was hidden and pulled the rogue satellite back into reality. Jaime, together with Black Canary and Green Arrow, destroyed Brother Eye's dimensional stabilizer, preventing it from escaping outside reality again. Once Batman's team had sent Eye plummeting earthwards, Scarab shunted Jaime outside dimensions itself, seeking to escape the Green Lanterns on the spaceship. Unfortunately, the chaos of the dimensional stabilizer section dilated time for Jaime. As far as he knew, he had only been outside dimensions a couple minutes on Earth. However, a whole year passed. 1 year later, the next thing Jaime remembered, he had come down in the desert outside El Paso and Guy Gardner was trying to kill him. Once Guy realized he was fighting again, he broke off the fight, but not without promising Jaime he would be back. Jaime eventually managed to find his way back home, only to discover his year-long absence. In that time, his father had become crippled forcing him to walk with a cane. Paco had teamed up with the posse, and Brenda had been taken in by her aunt after her abusive father died in a DUI. He revealed his identity as the Blue Beetle to both his family and his two friends. While his father and friends were understanding, his mother became suspicious and disbelieving that he was really Jaime, and his sister Milagro became terrified of him. It wasn't until Jaime returned to the scene of his re-arrival and recalled the memories of what had happened to the two, finally reconnected him with him and accepted him. Jaime's attempts to learn more about the scarab led him to the posse and involved him in their conflict with El Paso's resident crime lord La Dama, as she sought to bring the magical meadows of El Paso under her control. Her henchman Diviner even got so far in manipulating the bottom feeder to abduct her baby daughter of the posse leader Damper. Jaime fought to save the baby, discovering he could permanently sleep the bottom feeder, but despite the bottom feeder's own wishes, he refused, as Jaime was not a murderer. After that, Jaime and the posse launched a raid on Warehouse 13, where La Dama was holding her collection of magic meadows. Wanting to find most of them were happy where they were. However, the posse managed to convince a good half of them that they could return to their ordinary lives, promising the Blue Beetle would defend them. La Dama had no choice but to accept this, or risk facing her guests' objections. Jaime and La Dama made a reluctant truce. Both knew the other's secret identity and could make it public whenever they chose. Jaime initially believed the scarab was a mystical artifact up until Peacemaker arrived, revealing that it was just a piece of extraterrestrial technology. Jaime's search for more information took him back to where he had crash-landed in the desert. In an attempt to find out about his missing year, he then headed out to Dan Garrett's trail, looking to find out about the first Blue Beetle had known about the scarab. The current Dan Garrett was the original Blue Beetle's granddaughter and claimed she had the right to the scarab, but since it was stuck in Jaime's spine, she let it go. However, it was Jaime's investigation into cattle mutilation outside El Paso that would provide his biggest lead on the scarab. His confrontation with the monstrous creation responsible led him to the Reach, the alien civilization who had created the scarab and left it on Earth. Jaime discovered that the Reach were galactic conquerors who planned to add Earth to their list of conquest. Initially, the scarab had been programmed to be obedient to the Reach and to subordinate its host's will to them as well. The Reach had intended to present the scarab's host as Earth's protector before moving to establish their influence over the planet. However, during centuries the scarab had spent on Earth, it had been infused with magic, the magical corruption preventing the Reach from controlling it. With Jaime's assistance, it had started to develop free will and independence, overriding the Reach's deepest programming. Nevertheless, the Reach still intended to take over the planet, even without the scarab to help them. As far as the rest of the world was concerned, the Reach were peaceful galactic traders, so our secret bases and technology were heading away out of phase with the rest of the world, and Jaime was the only one who could see them. Seeing Jaime and the scarab as the biggest threat to the plans, the Reach attempted to eliminate them through the use of deniable agents, including Earth's supervillains. Jaime, meanwhile, tried to find out what the Reach were going to do and how he could stop them. Worried that the scarab might be a threat, Jaime sought help from the local branch of Star Labs. An encounter with Livewire, who was being assessed there at the time, triggered a strange reaction in both Livewire and the scarab, resulting in a fight. Superman put a halt to the battle and helped reassure Jaime about himself and the scarab. Jaime also assisted Tracy 13 in foiling Eclipso's attempt to kidnap a baby with great magical potential and used as a new uncorrupted toast. During the course of the adventure, Jaime and Tracy developed a romantic interest in each other and remained a long-distance contact over Ellipso's defeat. When the Reach recruited Lobo to prevent the launch in a rocket containing anti-Reach technology, Jaime teamed up with the Teen Titans to make sure the rocket lifted off safely. Afterwards, the Titans invited Jaime to the Titans Tower so he could hang out with them, get training, and learn how to fight. Jaime took them up on the invitation and found himself helping the Titans fight off their future incarnations of the Titans of Tomorrow. Finally, Jaime and the scarab managed to uncover the Reach scheme and destroy it, but also ended up destroying any evidence of the scheme. By this point, the scarab became an independent, free-willed entity to its own right, naming itself Kahida. Together, Jaime and the scarab devised a plan to bring the Reach down before they tried conquering Earth again. Jaime allowed himself to be captured by the Reach, giving the scarab the chance to hack into the Reach computers and broadcast their invasion plans worldwide. The Reach's negotiator, driven out to breaking point, ordered Earth's destruction, but again, Jaime and the scarab intervened, stopping the World Rippers before they could be activated. The Reach were forced to withdraw, claiming that the negotiators gone rogue. The scarab, however, had a conversation with other scarabs on board the Reach ship, a little surprise for the Reach. Battle for the border. Jaime defeats two attackers, a man and a dog-like creature named Hellhound. After they attack him, he then helps Peacemaker rescue a hostage, but the criminals escape when the Beetle cannot track them. The rescued girl later stays with Paco and his family. This is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!